Hey everyone, my name is Julian. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Hayti, the Black Empire. So, my channel is here to read the history of Haiti from past to present. My channel is to educate anyone and everyone who will be able to take an interest in the history of my beautiful country, Haiti. So I wanted to share one of my readings with you tonight. It is by Honorable Frederick Douglass, who served as the minister in Haiti by the United States. And he was sent there by the president to work in Haiti and to come back and, discuss what he saw in Haiti. So I wanted to share this lecture with you when he wrote it. So it's entitled Lecture on Haiti, the Haitian Pavilion. Dedication ceremonies delivered at the World's Fair in Jackson Park, Chicago on January 2nd, 1893 by the Honorable Frederick Douglass, ex-minister to Haiti. The first part I'm going to read tonight is some of it I'm going to read, and I'll come back for the rest. Is a preface. It goes like this. The following lecture on Haiti was delivered in America for the purpose of demonstrating the fact to the United States that the Haitians are people like ourselves, that what they have gained they will maintain, that whatever concessions may be asked by men, women, or child, if not conflicting with the Constitution of their country, they will without hesitation grant. The fact that their skin is dark, and that what supremacy they now have was gained by bloodshed, is no reason why they should be looked upon and treated as though they were unable to comprehend those things which are to their best interests. The course taken by their progenitors to obtain freedom is in no manner different from that pursued by the original promoters of American independence. Our paths are strewn with the bones of our victims. For whatever wrongs that are perpetrated against Haiti by any citizens of the United States, the good people of this country will be held responsible. We ask you to read and judge well. The appointment of Mr. Douglass to represent this country in Haiti was bitterly opposed by millions of Americans. But in spite of all opposition, he went, and since his return and the success of his mission made public, his assailants and opposers have represented of their era, and their respect and admiration for him and for those who sent him is greater now than ever before. So far as he was concerned, his services were rendered according to the opinion of the good people and the Constitution of the United States. We hope the President will ever be successful in appointing another such minister to represent the United States in Haiti. Washington Manager. This was written in April 1893. I'm going to read the introductory now. The oration here offered to the public is made interesting by not only its subject but also its author. The interesting islands finds a rival in the impressive orator, and the reading heart will find itself divided between Haiti and Frederick Douglass. The history of either the island or the man will yield thought enough for the hour. It seems a surplus of riches when such a heroic nation is spread out before us by such a man. Frederick Douglass, in his hours of remembrance, must look out upon an amazing group of years. He was just learning to read when Henry Clay was in full fame as an orator, and when Daniel Webster was a young man in the National Senate. He was a slave boy when these two orators were the giants of freedom. He was an African while they were Americans, and yet in intellectual power and in eloquence, the slave and the two freedmen were at last to meet. It was the destiny of the slave to behold a liberty far nobler than that freedom which lay around Clay and Webster. when their sun of life went down. It was still the better destiny of the slave lad to live and labor in all those years, which route out slowly and at a great cost the emancipation of our African citizens. His talents, his courage, his oratory were given to those days which exposed, assailed, and destroyed a great infamy. By the time Frederick had reached his 10th year, he had learned to read. With reading, observation, and reflection came some true measurements of human rights and hopes. And when the 21st year had come with its reminders of an independent manhood, this slave made his secret journey toward the north and exchanged Maryland for Massachusetts. 10 years afterwards, some English abolitionists paid the Baltimore master for his literary and eloquent fugitive and thus secured for the famous orator of freedom, not only actual but legal according to statute law. Although Frederick Douglass has lived in our land 3/4 of a century, yet many have not heard the voice which once impressed not only America, but also of England. His style is simple. The meaning of his sentences come instantly. His logic is always like that of a plane geometry. It is built up out of solid promises, and he reaches conclusions not for the art's sake or for pay's sake, but simply because they are inevitable. In the olden time, when he spoke on the slave question and on the duties of the nation, the audience felt as though they had been pounded with artillery. He was not noisy, nor tremendous in gesture, his power being like that of a Theodore Parker and Phillips the power of thought. The reader of this lecture on Hayti will note at once that simplicity, the clearness, that pathos, that breadth, that sarcasm, which are the characteristics of a great orator, and the power of making a statement. Mr. Douglass resembles Webster. The words all rise up as the statement advances, and the listener asks for no omission or addition of a term. If we select one sentence from that one, we may judge all, until Hayti spoke the slave ship, followed by hungry sharks, greedy to devour the dead and dying slaves, flung overboard to feed them. Plow in peace the South Atlantic, painting the sea with the Negro's blood. Such a style, so just, so full, so clear, was the form of utterance, well fitted for the black years between 1830 and 1861. This oration should not be for any of us a piece of eloquence only, full of present beauty and great memories, but it may well take its place as a great open letter full to overflowing with lessons for the present and the future. It is the paper of an old statesman, read, to an army of youth who are here to enjoy and to bless the land which the old orators once made and afterwards saved and refashioned. By David Swing, Chicago, March 20th, 1893. So this concludes this first part. I will come back and read some more. Thank you for listening. Hope you stay to enjoy. Bye.